Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here to give you guys, believe it or not, a Weymouth Youth Wrestling review. Never thought that I would be doing one of these videos again. As everybody knows, the last time I talked about Weymouth Youth Wrestling, it didn't go well. It was doing my 300 subscriber shout out video. And yeah, it was basically me quitting. And not wanting to be a part of it anymore. Well, things have changed since then. I'm not really going to go through like the details about why the video was made and what went into like making it and how everything happened. But I'm giving Weymouth Youth Wrestling a second chance because mainly, I thought if I have given TNA Impact Wrestling, which I really shouldn't badmouth them because I don't watch it now. And I hear it's better now, but I'm just talking more so like TNA, like, back in like 2012, 2013, 2014-ish when they were like doing really bad stuff, even 2015, all those years. If I could give them as many opportunities as I have, then I think WIW can get the same amount of opportunity. So that's exactly what's going to happen. Immortal is April 20th. I'm going to be going to watch that live, and I want to be caught up to what on all the episodes so I can watch Immortal. So that's exactly what I'm going to do, except this time when I review WIW, I'm going to do what I should have been doing all along, and that's I'm going to watch it in posts. I'm going to watch, this episode, and after each match or segment, when it goes to commercial, whatever, I'll come on here and give my thoughts on it, because trying to do it all at once isn't easy, because you have to sit down and remember all the matches and stuff. And all the matches have, like, a lot of hardcore spots in them and stuff, and it's not as easy to remember. So, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch each episode, I'm going to review each episode, and if I don't like it by Immortal, then I won't watch it, but we'll see if that even happens. But yeah, I'm going to start off with round 2, episode 1, and then obviously I'm just going to go from there until I get to Immortal. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and yeah, let's get right into the video. Okay, so this was uploaded to YouTube on March 4th, 2018. I don't know if it really was supposed to be released like March 3rd, 2018, and YouTube was just probably being a bitch and wouldn't let them upload it. Don't know what happened, but it says March 4th, 2018. I don't know if that's what they originally had planned for it to come out, but that's the date I'm saying. But I figured I would start off by talking about the opening video package because I think it was very well made. But this is also a way I can talk about each guy that's made it to round 2 of the tournament. So yeah, I figured this is a way that I can do that. Because after this, I pretty much won't be able to, because the tournament would have already been well underway and stuff like that. So let's talk about each of the guys that made it to round 2. What I liked about this is they have like a name for each part of the bracket of the tournament. Like round 2 is called the Sweet 16. The quarterfinals are going to be called the Excellent 8. And, we have the semifinals and the finals. I don't know what they're going to call that, but I think it's actually pretty cool. It's something unique that we really haven't seen before. And I think it's pretty cool. They showed highlights of the first round of the tournament, which I thought made sense because, in real life, a lot of this was, aired, didn't exactly air week to week. So this is a kind of a way for people that haven't watched it, within that amount of time, to kind of get a refresher on it. But I also liked it as well, because, it shows the highlights of the first round of the tournament, and it kind of shows how each guy advanced. It didn't show the whole, first round of the tournament, but it showed, big parts of each match, and how each guy advanced and stuff like that, which I really liked. And then it broke down, the rest of the people in the Sweet 16, which I'll break down right now. I might say one person's name wrong because it's impossible to say. But, it takes time to learn how to say these names. It takes time sometimes. So let's go through each guy. We have Michael X, Chris Phoenix, Matt Harrington. Now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Matt Harrington, his name was changed. I think he had a different name, but I might be wrong about that. So don't quote me on that. But I believe Matt Harrington was supposed to be, well, had a different name before, but they had to change it for some reason. Brandon Curtis, though, is number 4. Johnny Stowe, Brett mentioned, Azareth Smith. I almost said Aerosmith. I think that's his gimmick, but it, I see Azareth and then Smith, but I instantly think Aerosmith. James Archangel, Sean Maverick, Zach Kurosaki. Probably said that wrong, but whatever. I'll get it right one of these times. Taka Michinoku, Jay Bones, Mark Young, Jason G, Kyle Weaver, and Corey Dangerous. Not dangerously, but dangerous, because I think I said dangerously before. And, I think it makes sense that they made it to the Sweet 16. Michael X is, probably one of the big stars. Sean Maverick, I think, has a lot of potential on WIW. James the Archangel's like the heart and soul of WIW. And, everybody else that made it, on here made sense. I don't know if the only thing I don't know is Taka Michinoku's has a thing where if he loses, he's has to retire from professional wrestling. I don't know if that's going to be in void in this round, because it's kind of hard to really work around that, because this is a CAW league and he's still wrestling in real life. So I feel like if they try, it really wouldn't be easy for them to tell that storyline. But other than that, I think this is a very good class. I don't know the matches. That's kind of one flaw I would admit, is I kind of wish they would have shown us a bracket of each match of the tournament. I know they told us that, but I kind of wish one of the fun things is to see the bracket afterwards. Maybe they made one and I just don't know about it, but it would be easy, so that way we know how to keep track of it if they updated the bracket. And I wish they would have updated the promos a little bit. They used the same promos for the first round, but maybe they're gonna have each guy cut a promo throughout this episode or something. So, but other than that, very good video package. It's just I have some nitpicks, and I gotta mention the nitpicks. But other than that, the video package was very well made, and it gets you definitely hyped to want to watch the Sweet 16 of the tournament. Okay, so on to the actual show itself. The show took place in the United Center in Chicago, Illinois, Chris Phoenix's hometown, and we had the commentary team of Nathan Farrar, Jonathan Caterer, and Casey Gallagher. This was Casey Gallagher's first night on commentary. I can't really say how well he's done, because there really hasn't been a match where he's fully commentated or anything. And I say what I say about 3-man commentary teams. How I don't think that wrestling should have them. I think it should just be a 2-man commentary team. But seeing how NXT does their commentary team, it can work if done properly. So maybe they'll do it properly. And the first thing we see on the show is Jim Cornette, who's the WIW president, comes out, and he pretty much welcomes everybody to the show. He puts over the talent, and he talks about the matches. I believe the matches are going to be James Archangel versus Azareth Smith in the main event. Chris Phoenix versus Michael X. Michael X was heavily booed because he's not the hometown guy. I don't exactly remember if he's a heel or not, but I just think because it's in Chris Phoenix's hometown, that's why he was booed. And we have Matt Harrington versus I think Brandon Smith. I don't exactly remember. This is why I kind of wish we had a graphic, so I wouldn't have to remember this off the top of my head. And then I think it's Johnny Starr versus somebody. I think actually it's Johnny Starr versus Brandon Smith, and I forget. I know Matt Harrington's wrestling tonight, but he breaks down the code pretty much. I forget exactly what the match code is. But he said he's here for a major announcement, and he introduces the general manager of WIW, Markiplier. Now, Markiplier in real life is a YouTube gamer. He makes all these Let's Plays. I don't know if he still does, but, WIW got him. Which, it's pretty cool because you want to appeal to, the gaming audience. And since WIW is a CAW league, then it pertains to that audience. Because I don't think you want to just... While you want to pertain to the wrestling audience, I think pertaining, entertaining the gaming audience is even better. So, Markiplier comes out. He puts over the roster, talks about how the best athletes, but not just the best athletes, that they're doing all this crazy shit, which makes sense. But that's not the only announcement. They announce the mega event, the first ever mega event, Immortal. And it shows it on the Titantron, and it shows a big graphic for it. And I gotta say, the logo for it looks awesome. And even Markiplier even says, if that doesn't, get you hyped for the show, then the match card will. But the match logo looks awesome. I don't know what's gonna be on Immortal. I'd imagine if they announce an Immortal, they're gonna have the finals of the Gold Rush tournament there, because that would make sense. Because if you didn't having it at Immortal is the best possible place to crown your first world champion. I believe too they also announced the Athena Championship tournament, which is going to be the women's title. But what's weird about that though is the commentators talk about it, but Markiplier and Jim Cornette made no mention of it. So I thought that was kind of weird. Maybe they got it wrong or something, but I figured they would have edited that out if, they messed it up. So maybe I misheard them. Maybe they said it's coming, but whatever. I did like though the banter they did where Jim Cornette was making fun of how Markiplier was dressed, because I thought that was pretty funny, because it's something that Jim Cornette would do. Because obviously, really this isn't Jim Cornette's voice. I'm not, breaking the kayfabe by saying that, because you can, while the person that voices Jim Cornette, sounds pretty spot on, you can tell it's not Jim Cornette because, it's not. The only, I guess, criticism I can give, and I don't think this is anything like WIW can do about it, is, some of the stuff when they talk and stuff, it's not in sync, but, I think that's just WWE 2K14 being an ass, so there's really nothing they can do about it. But, yeah, I thought this was a hell of a way to start round 2 of Gold Rush. I thought it made sense, to start off with this big announcement. You bring in Markiplier. I like it. If they start, each round with, a big announcement like this, I would be fine with it. But, yeah, that's basically all I have to say. Now let's get into the first match of the show. But yeah, this segment overall was a win. I liked it. I thought it was good. Okay, so we had the first match. It was round 2 of the Gold Rush tournament to crown the first ever WIW World Champion. It was in an Extreme Rules Falls Count Anywhere match. Michael X versus Chris Phoenix. Like I said, this was Chris Phoenix's hometown, as I said in the beginning of the video. And the crowd was very into Chris Phoenix. They did not like Michael X. And I thought the crowd played a very good role in this match. They booed Michael X anytime he got in control, and they booed, they cheered Chris Phoenix anytime he was control. And he was clearly, the baby face in this match. I kind of liked, I really don't know what Michael X is, if he's a face or if he's a heel or if he's neutral. But I kind of liked, how, for at least this match, if he is a face, he played heel in this match because WIW, I thought, did the right thing because I think, if they had both been baby faces, it wouldn't have worked. I think it worked better where Michael X was acting like a heel in this match. And he was, he would taunt Chris Phoenix in this match. He would basically get the crowd to get, more invested into Chris Phoenix than to Michael X. And I thought that really worked. And at the start of the match, from out of nowhere, Chris Phoenix just hits a super kick right off the bat when Michael X is just taunting at him, which I kind of like the way the match just kind of picked up right away. It's the first match of round 2. You kind of want this match to feel big, and this match definitely didn't disappoint. The opening moments of the match are them kind of doing basic wrestling moves to each other. Chris Phoenix did the Spanish fly off the top turnbuckle. Michael X did the springboard double knees outside the ring. It's pretty much, I don't know if it was if it was just a double knees or a meteora. It's really tough to tell. And I also noticed too they have a new referee, Anthony Red, because typically he didn't referee any of the matches in round 1, but he refereed the matches here, which is fine. Chris Phoenix hits a missile dropkick from the top turnbuckle. They do the whole spot in the beginning where they trade punches at each other, and they're each blocking them. And the crowd, I like it when they do this spot in wrestling because it's a way for the crowd to get engaged, because the crowd's chanting for Chris Phoenix anytime he goes to throw a punch, and Michael X, they're booing anytime he throws a punch. Michael X hits like a reverse sleeper slam move onto Chris Phoenix, which was awesome. Chris Phoenix hits a wicked arm breaker, really targets the arm throughout the match of Michael X, and eventually, though, they go for the weapons. But before Chris Phoenix can use the steel chair that he brings out, Michael X hits a sick dive right outside the ring, which kind of caught me by surprise. And he throws him into the barricade. He slams him, but just misses the chair. Chris Phoenix hits Michael X off the head with the chair, throws him into the barricade, super kicks him while he's prone up against the barricade. And the match spills out into the outside. Michael X hits Chris Phoenix with the guitar. That it's just ringside. He just hits him right with it. He body slams him onto the guitar. Actually, he doesn't actually hit him with it, which was pretty damn cool. Actually, I never seen something like that before. He throws him into the steps. There's a spot where Michael X hits like a fisherman suplex, and he lands right on the bottom of the steps, which was awesome. Chris Phoenix, this happens earlier in the match, but I'm just trying to I didn't memorize it spot move for move, but hits a drop kick from the top turnbuckle right across Michael X's arm, which is pretty damn cool. And a lot of the match is Chris Phoenix working over Michael X's arm, which was pretty cool. Chris Phoenix grabs not a kendo stick, but a crutch, and he hits Michael X right across the face with it. And I like the spot where Chris Phoenix goes to grab a ladder, but Michael X just hits him right up. I think it was supposed to be in the back of the head with the guitar before he can even use the ladder, which was pretty damn cool. And Michael X goes for a dive on the outside, but Chris Phoenix moves, and when he goes, and as he's going for a baseball bat, Chris Phoenix hits a reverse DDT. Not Chris Phoenix, sorry. Michael X hits a reverse DDT, and he throws him into the barricade and hits him 3 times right across the head with a baseball bat, which was insane. Michael X hits a executioner powerbomb, I believe he calls it. First in the ring, just regular, and Chris Phoenix kicks out of it, and then he hits one on a ladder that's on the outside. And Michael X spends too much time taunting, so when he goes for the cover, Chris Phoenix kicks out. Like I talked about before, I'm not a fan of people kicking out of so many finishers and stuff, but since this is a tournament to crown the first ever WYW champion, I'm going to be a little bit lenient towards that, because it made sense here, because this is the first match of round 2. You want to have a big match, and I'm going to obviously let it slide now too, because it's round 2 now, so the matches should be more high pace and stuff like that. But continuing, Michael X gets Chris Phoenix into a camel clutch, which Chris Phoenix reverses it, and he you know, when he powers out of it, Michael X goes back first into the steps, which was awesome. Chris Phoenix hits another Spanish fly off the top turnbuckle and just barely misses the ladder, but Michael X ends up going back first into a crutch, which was pretty damn cool. I don't exactly know when Michael X got busted open in this match. I think he got busted open with like a steel step shot on the outside, which obviously was awesome. Michael X hits a springboard splash on the right onto Chris Phoenix. And I like the spot where Chris Phoenix has a crutch and Michael X hits a springboard clothesline just out of nowhere. That was pretty awesome. Just an awesome match that they really had. Michael X went for a spear a handful of times in this match, but Chris Phoenix kept reversing it. And Michael X, really gets in control, finally hits the spear, hits the X-Plex again, kick out. Obviously, you guessed that. And then Chris Phoenix hits he had hit his signature, which is like a delayed suplex. And he has the chance to go for the victory, but he doesn't want to. He sets up a ladder in the ring, and he goes for the Phoenix Splash. And this is what did him in this tournament. And Michael X reverses it. He hits a powerbomb, sunset flip powerbomb off the ladder, which, Chris Phoenix kicks out of. And then they do the spot again, and this time Chris Phoenix hits a superplex, setting both men off the ladder. And this pretty much was the turning point of the match. Chris Phoenix goes for a couple, Michael X kicks out again. And then he tears apart the announcer's table, and, he goes for the moonsault, or like the Phoenix Splash off the apron. And Michael X moves out of the way, and Chris Phoenix crashes and burns on the announcer's table. And Michael X could have ended the match right here if he really wanted to, but he didn't. What he did was he puts him in the ring and hits a not an exploder suplex, but not a Northern Light suplex, but a fisherman suplex not through it, but on the ladder, when the ladder goes flying. And then he hits the the executioner powerbomb again onto Chris Phoenix. I think it was in the ladder. I don't exactly remember. But gets the win, which I thought that was actually a fitting finish. I really liked it. And afterwards, Michael X shakes Chris Phoenix's hand in respect. So like I said, this is kind of where I don't know if Michael X is supposed to be a face or a heel, because he did shake his hand after the match, but he was acting heelish in this match. So, but this match was insane. I basically broke down, every spot I could have thought of, but there was probably so much more spots. There was so much more. This is like really one of those matches you really have to go see. A lot of the WIW matches are like that, and this is definitely one of them. Great match. Great way to kick off, round 2 of the tournament. Definitely a 4-star match. I thought the right person went over. I talk about all the time how the hometown guy in wrestling never wins, but I actually thought it was fitting. It's not like Chris Phoenix looked like a loser losing this match. So yeah, a lot of people could say that this match didn't have like a storyline and stuff in it either, but the storyline is the tournament. They're going through this intense tournament, and they want to be the first ever WIW World Champion, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to win the tournament. So I think that makes the storyline, and that's why I like tournaments. You already have like a build storyline in the match without even having to have one. So, obviously too, if they can have a storyline off of the match as well, then that's nice. And I think too, like, if a lot of people can give criticisms about that in WIW. They don't have like a big storyline going on right now. They have some, with the Taka Michinoku stuff, like how he was attacked in one episode, and how Chris Dodd lost his opportunity in the tournament. But they're setting some storylines up. But I think, the tournament can be a great thing because it can set up feuds, and it can also be you can also have a storyline in the tournament itself without just because it's a tournament. So, yeah. Anyhow, great match. 4 stars easily. And I do gotta say too, now that I've like heard him commentate and stuff, I really like the commentary team up of Nathan Farrar, Jonathan Caterer, which is probably one, and Casey Gallagher. I think it's great. And I think Casey Gallagher really fits in with everybody. And I think the 3-man commentary team just really works. And the best part about it is, while Jonathan Farrar is supposed to be the heel commentator, you really wouldn't really know that, because while, you know, once the storylines kick in and stuff, he'll act like a heel and he'll act like an asshole. But they're not overly heelish, and they're not, you know, constantly arguing it at each other's throats. They call the match, they work the match, and I really like it. And I like their energy in the commentary. So yeah, basically that's it. So let's continue on with the show. That was just the first match too, and the video, this part of the video is like 12 minutes and, you know, 33 seconds. I don't know how long the video is at this point, because I'm editing it and putting it all together. But damn, we're already cooking with gas, so I like it. Okay, so now on to the next match, which was another match in round 2 of the WIW Gold Rush Tournament, an Extreme Rules Falls Count Anywhere match. Matt Harrington versus Brandon Curtis, and this match was great. I thought it was gonna better than the first match, and that's not discrediting the first match. I just enjoyed it more than the first match. And I pretty much just ate my words with what I said in the first part of the video, where I talked about how, you know, not every match is going to have a story because it's a tournament and the story writes itself. This match actually had a storyline, other than the fact that it was just a tournament. As we know, these two were in the first ever steel cage match of WIW, along with Johnny Starr, where Brandon Curtis was victorious. And they tied into that. They even talked about how it was like one of the most viewed matches of the test matches on Daily Motion. And, you know, I really liked the gimmicks, how they were both different from each other, but yet the same in a way. How Brandon Curtis, you know, is fighting for his family because he was homeless at one point, and his daughter's sick, and he's doing this because he has to. But meanwhile, you have Matt Harrington, who is the rich Englishman who thinks he's better than everybody else. He's the one that's on the dollar signs in his mind, and he fights because he's a bully. I really like the way that he talks, and I think Matt Harrington's going to be a big deal in WIW. You could say, that's what I like about WIW. You could say, like, all of these guys are going to be big deals. Obviously, you're going to have some mid-carders, you're going to have some main stars, but, you know, we can talk about that in another video. And they really did a good job of hyping this match up. And then we had the match. And a common criticism that I've had of WIW is every match like felt the same. It's not different. But if you watch this match right after the last match, it was completely different. Like, this match I thought was more of a technical match than the last one was. The last one was pretty technical, but that one was more of a fight. This match was more of a technical match. They didn't really do the weapons or stuff and anything like that till about 10 minutes into the match, and I like that. So they start off by feeling each other out, with Matt Harrington getting the upper hand though each time. You know, they both hit like a float over DVT, a float over neckbreaker, a reverse exploder suplex. Not Matt Harrington. Brandon Curtis hit a suplex into a German suplex into a springboard crossbody, which was cool. I really like that. Matt Harrington hit the headlock driver, but didn't get the pinfall, and they really just proceeded to have this great back and forth match. Matt Harrington knocked Brandon Curtis off the apron, and he went face first in the announcer's table. He bounced him face first in the announcer's table. He hit a wicked like high kick like twice in a row in this match, which was awesome. And Brandon Curtis hit a really cool springboard missile drop kick. I thought that was really awesome as well. He had an awesome suicide dive in this match, which that kind of got messed up because I'm not gonna, he was supposed to like run and do it, but he kind of stopped himself in between. So, but I still really liked it. And Brandon Curtis hit a Thunder Crash out of nowhere, which is basically, an RKO. And I really like the way he hits the Thunder Crash, though, but, that's just me. He goes for the cover, but Matt Hamilton kicks out, which that made sense because it was only like, 15 minutes into the match. I don't think the match was ready to be over at that point. And then Matt Hamilton hits his finisher, which is, I forget exactly. He has two. He's got like one where he does like a superplex like into the turnbuckle, but I forget what the other finisher is. And I've seen him, and I saw him do it like 20 times in this match, and yet I forget about what it is. I think it's like, a brain buster or something. And he could have gone for the win right there, but he just wanted to inflict more punishment on Brandon Curtis. And he goes for a trash can lid, but Brandon Curtis sees it coming, which I was kind of getting concerned because I'm like, oh no, this match should have been over right there. This match is now going to go longer than it needs to. But that was not the case. The match was still intriguing all throughout. Brandon Curtis hit a moonsault, which destroyed the trash can, which I thought was awesome. He hit a reverse superplex. They used the steps, and they really utilized the steps a lot. Like Brandon Curtis hit a floater DDT onto Matt Hamilton onto the steps, and then Matt Hamilton hit a reverse superplex, one just regular, and then one on the steps, and then eventually, like, Matt Hamilton just beats the crap out of Brandon Curtis, really working over the legs. He brought him on the outside and hit an English pedigree, which is just a pedigree, except I think because he's from the UK, they call it an English pedigree. And he hits it on the floor, and then he hits a brain buster into the chair, or his finisher on the chair. I don't remember what it's called. And this just sets off Brandon Curtis to the point where he grabs the wind bell, beats the crap out of Matt Hamilton with the wind bell, which I thought was awesome. And then he grabs a chair. He goes for a springboard splash, but Matt Hamilton reverses it. Matt Hamilton grabs the steel chair and he pounds it up against Brandon Curtis's throat, and he just bounces it off the wind mat. And then he puts it around his neck and hits an elbow drop with the chair. And they both got up at the exact same time. That was insane. I did not see something like that coming. And then Brandon Curtis does the same thing where he puts the steel chair around Matt Hamilton's throat, except he does a springboard splash onto the chair, and they both still get up at the exact same time. So it was they even do like the spot like earlier in the match where they both like roll out of the ring, and they kind of have like a face-to-face kind of segment in a way too, like they want to take each other down. And I thought that was really awesome part of the match as well. But then eventually, the match still continues. Two spill in the chaos. They bring on a ladder, and I like the spot where like Matt Hamilton went for a dive, but Brandon Curtis saw it coming, and he ended up going into the ladder. And then Brandon Curtis, the same thing ends up happening to him. I really loved that. I thought that was just great. Brandon Curtis, actually the first time he goes for the dive, Matt Hamilton moves out of the way. But then when he hits it but then he ends up hitting it the second time. He suplexes him on the outside. He grabs a crutch and just beats the crap out of Matt Hamilton with it. And he hits a Thunder Crash and then hits a moonsault, but Matt Hamilton kicks out. And then Matt Hamilton really starts to lose it. He hits the suplex into the turnbuckle like he did to Taka Michinoku weeks ago. And I like that he didn't go for the cover because that should have been the end of the match right there. But I think the fact that he didn't go for the win cost him in the end, because Brandon Curtis gets up and he gets hit with the crutch and he goes to go off the ladder, but Brandon Curtis moves him out of the way, and then he hits an elevated Thunder Crash into a moonsault, gets the win, and that was pretty much the end of the match. There's so many other spots, like I said in the first match, that I missed that you really just got to go watch this match for yourself because it's just a great match. I'm giving it 4.5 stars. And I actually thought they were going to have, that faction with Nick Foster, I think his name is, and the English guy. I forget his name off the top of my head. I think it's not Solomon, so I don't know why I would think that's that, but he's some YouTuber. I can't think of his name off the top of my head though. But if that didn't happen, I don't know why it didn't happen. And I thought Brandon Curtis was the right guy to go over because he's got the better storyline in the match. However, I do kind of find it questionable though that you would take out one of the parts of that faction in this match. But I really don't have an issue with it. I mean, it's not really a problem. So yeah, great match, and the commentary again was great, and there's really just a great match. I don't know what else I can really say about it. Okay, so then you see Corey Dangerous talking to, I think, Brett Mention. It's been a while since I've watched, so I don't remember what he looks like, but I think this is Brett Mention. But it's the guy that's going to face Johnny Starr in the tournament, so I will correct it later. But Corey Dangerous says that, the boss wants him in their group that they have going on. I believe it's called the Maggie Daddies. Which I don't really like that name of a faction, but that's just me. And he says all he has to do is to take out Johnny Starr, not out of the tournament, but end his career. He wants him to suffer. And Brett Mention says that's child's play. Consider it done. I thought it was a nice segment. It increases anticipation for that match later on in the show. And yeah, it's a way to kind of sprinkle in the Maggie Daddies throughout the show because you got to make people remember them. So I thought this was 2 thumbs up. Before I continue on with the review, I forgot to mention a spot in the Matt Harrington Brandon Curtis match. So there was a spot where Matt Harrington was on a ladder and Brandon Curtis tipped it over. And Matt Harrington landed on his feet while the steps were right there. It was actually pretty cool. Now, obviously this is breaking a bit of kayfabe. I don't think this spot was originally planned when they were doing the match. I just think WWE 2K14 was just having one of their weird moments. And he just landed on his feet. It kind of glitched out a bit, but it was still really cool. And I think the commentators putting it over that way really made it. But it was actually still pretty cool. Because in real life you wouldn't be able to catch yourself if you're falling off a ladder like that, unless you're freaking, really athletic. And Matt Harrington in real life probably wouldn't come off as that athletic, but it was still really goddamn cool. I know it sounds like I'm burying it, but I still thought it was really goddamn cool. It was just awesome. It was something we never seen before, and I still thought it was really cool. Okay, so next we had the first round tournament match in the Athena women's division, which is like what I said, it's going to be the women's championship in WYW. It was Colleen Horizon versus Breezy Bree versus Vamp Candy. Finally got it right. It took me 3 takes to remember Vamp Candy's name, because for some reason I couldn't remember it. I remembered the Vamp, but not the Candy, so I just pretty much wasted 3 takes then, because I deleted them for nothing. But you know what? We go unedited here, even though this is just a compilation of videos edited together, but unedited. But yeah, let's talk about this match. Small criticism is I wish we would have had a video package for one of these 3 women, or at least all of these 3 women, to kind of give us a history about them, because we really didn't know anything about them, and they didn't really give us a bracket for this Athena championship tournament. It kind of would have been nice to have a bracket that we could have followed along with, and we don't really know the other participants in the tournament. I know they announced it on one of their podcasts. I think it was the most recent one before this one. I think it was installment. Probably would have been number 3 at that point, I think. But not everyone listens to the podcasts, so I think they should have announced, like, the competitors here. Those are just small criticisms, but what I like about though this Athena Championship tournament is that it's different from the Gold Rush tournament, where it's not, like a single 32-person elimination tournament. Now, obviously, they probably don't have time up in Telemoto to do like a 32-woman elimination tournament, so they'll probably have to improvise with that. But I don't know. But I like that it's different, because WWE probably would have just done this, like had a 32-woman tournament and a 32-male tournament, and it just would have been tedious. I like that they changed it up. I like that they had, it's all going to be triple threat matches, elimination, and I like that it just feels different. I don't recall like seeing a tournament that had like triple threat, style to it. So I think it's kind of cool for my sake, because it's something I've never seen before. And I'm really excited about it. And like I said, they don't really need, we don't know any of these women, but they don't really need a storyline, because the tournament likes the storyline itself. They want to become the first ever Athena champion. So I like that in and of itself. Now, I actually know who Colleen Horizon is in real life, and I gotta say, the way that they made her character and stuff was very spot on, because it's, I haven't seen Colleen Horizon since probably, it's probably been a little over 3 years now. Actually, it's probably been about 3 years. Crazy how time flies. I haven't seen Colleen Horizon in like a little over 3 years. I don't even know if I still have her on Facebook, but that's getting into personal stuff. It's not like we, just getting into personal stuff. And I think I know who Breezy Bree is. Vamp Candy, though, in real life, I've never heard of her. She might be made up. But I'm breaking kayfabe here, so let's get back into kayfabe. But yeah, I really like this match, and this pretty much, spat in the face of the women's evolution. Now I gotta explain what I mean by that, because when I texted somebody that, they thought it was, they didn't really know sure how to take that. What I mean by that is I actually thought they did it better than the women's evolution. They didn't tell us 32 times that they were making history and having a women's evolution. They just let the women go out there and just show it. Show how, like, they were on the same level as the males. And that's how it should be. A lot of people are talking about how women are better than males. Well, if you have that, then you're not really solving anything. You're still showing that one sex is greater than the other. I think they should have, equal standards. But that's getting into politics and stuff. And people don't want to talk about that here. But yeah, this match was great. And I forgot to mention it's an elimination match. So, you have to beat both people. Once someone, the match doesn't end once someone gets pinned. You have to pin both women. And yeah, I really liked this match. It was a great match. Colleen Horizon started off right away with just 2 tilt-a-whirl hurricanranas just right off the bat. And there was a lot of spots where what's her name? Well, Colleen Horizon and Vamp Candy were working together in this match by hitting double gutbusters, double backbreakers, double DDTs. But eventually they would work together. I actually like this triple threat match, because one of the problems with triple threat matches is they'll be having people do spots, and no one will, and sometimes people will just be standing around doing stuff. That happened in that match, but sometimes it can be noticeable, and it really wasn't noticeable here. So I really like that. And I like that, there was one part where, Colleen broke up a submission, but I don't think it was intentional. And I usually hate that in triple threat matches because sometimes that happens where people will just break up submission in an elimination match. And that didn't happen here. Like, that's the only time where someone was sitting around not doing anything. If someone went for a pinfall and submission. But that made sense because it's an elimination match. You shouldn't want to be going for pinfall or submissions. There was one spot in this match where I believe it was Breezy Bree went to go off the top rope and do a crossbody. But what's her name? Vamp Candy. I have to write that name down probably. Like reversing into a back elbow. Now, obviously, the game messed that up too because she wasn't supposed to do like a back elbow. Like you wouldn't see that happen in like a regular wrestling match, but the game, was programmed to do that. So, but it still worked. There was a spot where Breezy Bree and Vamp Candy were like on the top turnbuckles after they worked together, taking out Colleen Horizon, and they both went after each other with like a freaking drop kick. It was pretty damn cool actually. And they did some stuff with the trash can, which I thought was, like I said, cool. Vamp Candy hit a cutter. I think it's just called a cutter, and I think it's called the Vamp cutter actually. She hit that twice in this match. And then she hit one, on Breezy Bree eliminating her. A lot of stuff went down, though, in that match. Like, Breezy Bree was hitting a lot of cool dives and hit her finish and stuff like that. But then it comes down to Colleen and Vamp Candy. And Vamp Candy hits Colleen, right off the face with a guitar, which was really damn cool. She hurricaned Colleen through a ladder and under a trash can. Colleen got hit with a Vamp cutter and was said RKO, but that's a different move. In midair, and she got right up afterwards, which was like, what the hell? It was pretty goddamn cool. You could make a criticism that this is the first round of the tournament. This is the first time we're seeing these women, so they shouldn't be, kicking out of their finishes and stuff, and maybe I'll make that criticism, but I don't know. I don't really think it applies here, because it is a tournament, and they're doing whatever it takes to, to win. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a positive and a negative, because the negative is we haven't seen any of them wrestle before, and the finishers are already kind of being buried a bit, but I don't know. I feel like I look more like the positive about it than the negative about it, so, Colleen Horizon hit a wicked sit-out powerbomb on the floor, which she called the rock bottom. No. It's not the rock bottom, but it's like they call it the rock bottom, but it's not the same thing. It's a sit-out powerbomb. She hit that earlier in the match, but it wasn't her signature. And then she presses Vamp Candy's head against the post and hits a kick right across, putting her head right across the post, which was awesome. And she hit a fireman's carry earlier in the match, and it was kicked out of. And then she hit one through the announcer's table, which hits Jonathan Cato right in the face. Which I kind of like that because, I don't think they were planning that was going to happen in real life, but since it happened in the video game, they worked with it. So, yeah. And she gets the win that way. But yeah, this was just a great match. I probably missed most of the spots in this match, but definitely, like I said, go back and watch this match because it's just great. And it's just great. I'm going to give it also 4.5 stars. I enjoyed probably Brandon Curtis versus not Matt Hitman. That's Matt Hitchman. A little bit more. Just because I thought it had a better storyline. I thought it was just more, just had a little, it was more technical. I thought, it was. I think I knew who they were more than them, and I thought this match had the storyline, but it, like I said, it was still great. But it just, I just enjoyed Matt Hitchman versus, sorry, I've been doing videos for the past 3 hours. Yeah, Matt Hitchman versus Casey, not Casey Gallagher. That's completely. I can't. Brandon Curtis. Yeah, Matt Hitchman versus Brandon Curtis. But yeah, great match. 4.5 stars, and definitely another match you just have to go out of your way to watch. next, Johnny Starr gets interviewed by Colin Dunn, who was making his debut as an interviewer. If you don't know him, he's a YouTuber. I don't even know if he's a YouTuber, but he's been on like the Pro Wrestling Roundtable and stuff like that. He's actually been on the channel before. I would like to have him on again at some point. Makes me wonder how he's doing. Actually, I haven't heard from him in a while. But anyhow, oh yeah, Johnny Starr interview. I just lost my train of thought. So he talks about how he feels about Brett Mention. So I did get it right. Wanted to take him out and stuff like that. And Johnny Starr says that all Brett Mention is a little bitch who just wants other people to do his work for him, and how he doesn't belong to this tournament because this is to crown the first ever WYWO champion. And he said that, he's going to win the tournament and become the champion. One criticism is the crowd chanted, so you couldn't hear like part of the interview, but other than that, I really liked the interview. So, yeah. And we're going to get that match, and I'm going to do a quick prediction. I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Brett Mention will win to kind of keep the Maggie Daddies in the tournament. Because I think it's just, well, he'll win so that way he can join the Maggie Daddies. I don't think he's going to like end Johnny Starr's career. Maybe he'll take him out and then like he'll return and like get revenge on him or something. But I think Brett Mention wins, and then, maybe like the next time we see him, which probably won't be for a few episodes, he'll be in the tournament. Or not be in the tournament, be in the Maggie Daddies. He'd still be in the tournament. Oh my gosh. This next match, insane. It was Johnny Starr versus Brett Mention in another round two. Sorry, I'm just lost for words a little bit. Round two of the Gold Rush tournament. Obviously, as every match is it's Extreme Rules Falls Count Anywhere, and boy, did they ever utilize that stipulation. I guess maybe one thing I could say, though, I don't want to really tie it into this match, because this match is great. I kind of wish with these Falls Count Anywhere matches, they would go like backstage a little bit. I thought that'd be pretty cool, but instead of just always brawling around the ring, maybe go backstage. I think this match would have been perfect for that. But I still thought the match was fucking great. Not quite 5 stars, because I live by that notion. If you have to ask yourself if it's a 5-star match, then it's not. So because I asked myself, because I thought, is this match 5 stars? Then it's not 5 stars. So this match was nuts, though, and Johnny Starr kicked the crap out of Brett Mention, like, throughout the whole beginning portion of this match. And I thought it actually tied in, because Johnny Starr knew that Brett Mention was going to potentially try to come out there to end his career, so don't even give the guy any breathing room. Just go beat the fuck out of this guy. And that's exactly what happened. For those fans that criticize, and I was one of those fans at one point, that every WIW match is structured the same, this show spat in all of their faces, because every match on this show had a different feel to it. The first match was kind of more, of a traditional WIW match, but the second match was a little more technical, a little bit more, but had some extreme elements in it. And the triple threat match just was completely different. It gave the women the chance to go out there and show what they could do. This match was, we're just going to go out there and beat the fuck out of each other type of match. And that's exactly what it was. I think the storyline really made this match, because you had Brett Mention, who's going out there to try to end Johnny Starr's career. Which I wonder, by the way, if WIW got flagged for that, because I'm surprised they couldn't, because Johnny Starr is a music performer, so these types of things I think about. Maybe that question will get answered. But Johnny Starr, though, is fighting for his career. He wants to beat the crap out of Brett Mention because he's disrespecting the championship. And wants to make this. He's defending himself pretty much. He's defending his career. He also, I mean, the championship kind of, you actually almost forget that this is a tournament match in a way, because the title kind of becomes secondary in a way. Like, the fact that this is a championship tournament doesn't even factor in really until, you know, you're like, oh shit, yeah, this was a tournament match. I forgot about that. But Johnny Starr just immediately starts off beating the crap out of Brett Menchen. Like, Brett Menchen gets like barely any offense in, which made sense. And he hits a dive on the outside onto Brett Menchen. He hits a fisherman suplex through the table, and he tries to get a cover, but he doesn't get the win, which it made sense because the match hadn't been going that long, so you're not going to end a match that quickly. That's what I like about these tournament matches. All the matches are about 20 minutes. Could some of them be shorter? Maybe, but this match was not one of those matches. I kind of wish this match would have closed the show, but I haven't seen the main event yet, so, you know, we'll get into that. But I also liked, you know, Brett Menchen, like, hits a bulldog, like, you know, like on the shadow remains of the table, and they make a mention a note, which that was not a pun. I didn't even mean to do that. They make mention though to say that, you know, they went into like Nathan Farrell's like beer glass, and like the shadow remains like went right into Johnny Starr's like chest. But this match was just brutal. Johnny Starr hit a springboard splash through the table. Brett Menchen hit an Alabama Slam in the ring, and then an Alabama Slam like on the concrete. Johnny Starr hit a wicked super kick in this match, wicked Frankensteiner. You know, Brett Menchen really destroyed Johnny Starr like throughout the outside, hitting him with the crutch, sending Johnny Starr headfirst into the post. Skull Crusher finale headfirst into the post. He threw him into a fan's guitar that was just ringside. Johnny Starr though really unleashed on him, hit him with the freaking kendo stick a ton of times. Dived on them in the outside, hit a, you know, shooting star press off a ladder, and then, you know, just regular off a turnbuckle. You know, threw him into the post, hit him with a crutch, busted him open. Johnny Starr got busted open profusely, which was awesome. Hit him with the steps brutally. Just these guys wanted to end each other's career. That's basically the story of this match. You know, Brett Menchen hit a bullhammer throughout this match a ton of times, but Johnny Starr kept kicking out. Johnny Starr pulled out the, I think it's the Canadian crossface, like 3 times in this match. And I like that the commentators bring up, like, why would he hit this move 3 times but not get the win. I like how they brought up how Johnny Starr was getting weaker, because, you know, in a video game, you really can't tell that. And then he threw Brett Menchen into the steps. He had a wicked dive on the outside, which was absolutely awesome. But then eventually the turning point comes when Brett Menchen hits the hits a wicked suplex onto the table, and then a skull crusher finale onto the table, onto a ladder, speared him through the barricade, big booted him head first into the post, and then this like pisses Johnny Starr off. He gets right up from this and attacks him, which I can actually believe that, because I can believe like adrenaline and stuff would kick in at that point. You would start to feel concussion system, so you kind of can just get up like that. And then Johnny Starr goes to hit a like splash off the top turnbuckle, but gets caught into a bull hammer and hits this back of the head on the win post, and Brett Menchen covers him and gets the win. And afterwards, like, the commentators really saw this. They got all quiet, rooted for Johnny Starr, but talked about how much of an asshole Brett Menchen was. Jonathan Caterer was even going to, like, jump in the ring and attack him, and I really like this. It sells that the Maggie Daddies are willing to take anybody out that they see fit, but you can get the sense that Johnny Starr's career is over. And I think they're going to go with my storyline idea. You know, Brett Menchen, I think, will get far in the tournament but not win it. I was going to say Johnny Starr could come out and cost him one of the matches, but they have that stip where if, you know, someone costs the match, the guy wins. They actually should do something, though, where Johnny Starr attacks, like, the guy he's facing, and then that way he'd be out, because that would make sense. But this match was just great. I probably missed a ton of spots in this match, but you really just gotta go watch. This is another match you really just gotta go watch. Tells a great story, and I gotta give them a round of applause. I think this was my match of the night so far. 4 3/4 stars. Just fucking great. These guys really tore the house down. And now we're on the main event, so let's get right into that. Okay, so then we had the main event. It was James the Archangel versus Azarus Smith. Not going to try to make that mistake by saying Aerosmith again, because that was embarrassing. I mean, I didn't say it, but the fact that I almost said it just is pretty embarrassing. Good that I caught myself, but whatever. And these two guys obviously had a history with each other from test match number 11 when they put the ladder match on the map, because they had a ladder match in test match number 11. It was something I really didn't know about. I watched some of the test matches, but I never really got a chance to watch all of them. And I think I'll do that someday, maybe one day, after Immortal and stuff. I'll sit down, and when WIW's not posting anything and stuff like that, I'll sit down and I'll watch each of the test matches. I'd watch them now, but I don't have the time now, and I would miss Immortal if I did that. So I will watch the test matches and do reviews of them. I don't think I'd do them singularly. I'd probably do them, maybe test match 1 through 5 or 1 through 10, and kind of do the same thing. Just do this, 1 as one video, 2 as another video, stuff like that. But let's talk about the match. I thought it was a great match, but I didn't really think it should have been the main event. I think the main event should have been, Johnny Starr versus Brett Mention, just because I thought it had a better storyline. It was the best match on the show, and nothing I don't think was going to follow that, because it didn't follow that. And I feel bad saying that, because James the Archangel has been the main event every time he's been on, and his matches haven't really wowed me that much. They're great matches, but I don't know, maybe because, too, we've seen so many people do so much crazy stuff, that by the time the main event rolls around, you're kind of like, okay, we've seen this stuff already. Which is kind of maybe why maybe WYW tries a little too hard, because when the main event, maybe they should save all the big stuff for the main event, but I don't know, because by the time the main event got around, I was kind of it was kind of just going through the motions. Maybe because I kind of had a feeling James the Archangel was going to win. Everything else kind of just came secondary to me. So, yeah. I feel bad saying that, because the person that's probably going to watch this video will kill me now. And I'll be dead, but yeah, just James the Archangel's matches haven't really wowed me as much as I thought they would have. Maybe because I think he's gonna win every time. Maybe I don't know what it is, but they just haven't. Like they talk about, he's the heart and soul of WYW. I just don't really see it yet. Maybe I'll see it in the next match with Brett Mention. But yeah, I just don't see it yet. And I'm going to get killed for saying that, but I'm not saying this wasn't a great match. I'm not saying there's not something there, but like I said, maybe because he's in the main event and I've just seen all this crazy shit happen. He's in the launch. Maybe he's just continuously in the launch spot on the card, because that might be what it is. Well, let's talk about this match. I like how they went for the weapons right away, and I think that kind of hurt the match a bit, because they went for the weapons, but then went and did wrestling moves. Like, I was kind of like, why would you go for these weapons if you're just going to do wrestling moves? That kind of really didn't make any sense to me. But then, the match was great. You had, James the Archangel doing his powerbomb of doom spot on a ladder, and then he just does it regularly. He did it on the steps. He did a superplex off a ladder onto the steps. Azarus Smith did a razor's edge power bomb off the turnbuckles, which I thought was really cool. And they just killed each other in this match. They kind of redid the spot where he did the power bomb of doom onto the ladder on the steps. Kind of reminiscent their match from ladder match, but except he did 2 ladders and stuff. He had a belly-to-belly suplex on a trash can. It was a great match. He had a lot of nice stuff in the match. James the Archangel, I love his moonsault. I think his moonsault's awesome. And a lot of really cool dives in this match. Eventually, though, James the Archangel wins with the Powerbomb of Doom into the moonsault off a ladder. Wins the match. Other spots in the match, I guess, included like a nice big boot, a nice steel chair shot to the head. I'd be, if I didn't talk about this, Azure Smith did a Moonlight Drive, which is like a springboard moonsault, off the turnbuckles and kneed James the Archangel right in the head. Kendo stick shots. Just a great match. Did the right guy go over? I guess. I mean, I thought it would have been kind of cool if they would have surprised us and had, Azure Smith win, because I kind of expected James the Archangel to win. And this is kind of like one of those matches where, because it's predictable, it kind of hurt the match. Because predictability isn't always a bad thing in professional wrestling. I think people just think it's always going to be a bad thing. It really isn't a bad thing. But in this case, it kind of was a bad thing because I knew he was going to win. Kind of made the match, like, I was just kind of waiting for this match. Like, yeah, just get to the finish. I did like the running, like, sunset flip, like, power bombs he was hitting in the match, which I thought was pretty cool. It's like a running Code Red almost. I liked that. But yeah, I'm probably going to be dead for what I said about the main event, but just how I felt about it. Maybe because, too, it's like midnight right now, and I got to get up tomorrow, so, and I've also been doing this video for like 3.5 hours, but I thought it was a great match. I mean, I gave it 4 stars. I don't know what he wants from me. Like, it's not a 5-star match, but it's not higher than 4. But it's probably like my least favorite matches of all the matches of the night. I think that's like one flaw about WIW is they do so much by the time the main event rolls around. It just kind of becomes like we've seen everything that they could do. Maybe they should try to change things up in the main event, because as a viewer, when you've seen all this crazy shit go down, when the main event comes around, you're kind of not really wowed. And I really wasn't wowed in this match. So yeah, because it's nothing that James the Archangel did or Azure Smith. I almost did it again. I almost did Arrow Smith again, but yeah. Might as well call the guy Arrow Smith, because that's what everyone thinks of when they hear that name, too. I like Azure Smith's like voice that he has. I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, great match. 4 stars. And that's pretty much it. Alright, so before I end the video, I want to make sure I talk about this, because they released a WIW like exclusive video of someone from the Maggie Daddy Men. I don't remember who it is. I think it's Mark Young, but I could be wrong. Telling Brett Mention that he's in the Maggie Daddy Men. He was impressed what he did to him, and I kind of liked it because Brett Mention was kind of being cool about it. So that's pretty cool. I believe now the Maggie Daddy Men have like 3 people in it. No, 4 people in it. And I think they want to set up a feud with like Chris Dodd and the Maggie Daddy Men, because Corey Dangerous of the Maggie Daddy Men came out and cost Chris Dodd his match. I just don't know what they're gonna set up for that match yet. So yeah, it was fine. I kind of like that they did it as an exclusive, because it gets people to go to the YouTube channel a little bit more. And it's not like it's like a big thing they gave away on the exclusive. I think it's something everyone knew was going to happen anyway, so why not just tell people about it? So I thought it was fine. And that's pretty much the end of my review. And I thought this was a fantastic episode. Really not a lot of problems with it. If I had to say like my nitpicks about it is they didn't really explain like the competitors in the Althena Championship tournament, and like give backstories about them and give like a bracket about it. They didn't update the brackets for the Gold Rush tournament, really, and they could have updated the promos and stuff. And the main event could have been a little bit better, I thought. I thought maybe take dumb some stuff down in the mid. But then again though, like I really can't say that. Like maybe do some. I thought the main event could have been stronger. But maybe if I had watched the main event first, I would have felt differently. But I think the main event could have been stronger. But yeah, this is definitely proof that length really doesn't matter in a wrestling show, because this was about the same amount of time as a Monday Night Raw would be. It was like 3 hours, 45 minutes, and something seconds. I don't have the video on me now because I have the Brett mentioned video up. But I didn't get bored. Really, about, I really didn't get bored until the main event. Well, I shouldn't say that. I didn't really get bored watching this show. The main event, I was just kind of like, okay, I wasn't, like, the length had nothing to do with it. The main event, I was just kind of like, okay, let's just have the Archangel win. But other than that, fantastic show. I'm going to give it an A. It's not quite an A+ show. It would have been A+ had the main event been a little bit stronger. But other than that, still, if you get an A show, I still think that's fantastic. I think, though, I think that WIW might be onto something here. I'm not saying WIW is going to, like, change the landscape, probably, of professional wrestling, because it is a CAW league. Kind of tough. They have, like, a little bit of a handicap, because they can't, and they have to get, like, more subscribers and stuff. They have just a little bit over 100. But I think they're onto something here. I think people got to definitely give it a watch, because, they definitely, the commentary's on par, the matches are on par, and the storylines that they have right now are pretty good, But like I said, I feel like though, like, once they really start to build stories, once they really, once Immortal happens, I think they'll be a better judge of it. I think people got to definitely tune in to Immortal, because I think WIW is onto something here. And I think it's going to be some pretty awesome stuff. Like I said, I think once the brand gets a little bit more established and stuff, it will, and it can really get some momentum going. It'll be awesome. But I think this was an awesome show. Really puts over the two tournaments. I even like the reveal of Markiplier, because that's the thing about something new. You really kind of can't trash it. You can't really, like, I don't want to praise it either, because it's still new. You want to you have to wait, and I think Immortal will be like the final judge of it. And I think once Immortal happens, they crown champions and stuff like that. I think they'll actually be legitimized and stuff like that. So definitely give them a watch, though. I thought it was great, though. I thought it was fantastic all throughout, though. Definitely, fantastic matches and stuff like that. Just, I think the main events need to be a little bit stronger, because I'm trying to think. I don't think I enjoyed the last main event either. But then again, I shouldn't go based off that last video, because I really wasn't the fairest about that. But I think the main events need to kind of deliver a little bit more, because either the main events need to deliver more, or they need to kind of cut some stuff from, like, the undercard and stuff, because the main event, the problem with that is we see so much stuff done before the main event, but by the time the main event comes around. And I love the 3-man commentary team that they have going. I think they're onto something there, too. They're proven that 3-man commentary team can work if done properly, and this is the case. And they just fucking shat all over the WWE's Woman Evolution. Like I said, they didn't go out there and say it like 3,000 times. They went out there and they fucking just let the woman do their thing, instead of saying it like 3,000 times. You don't fucking say a woman's evolution. You show it, and that's what they did. And I liked Michael X versus Chris Phoenix. Just go watch this review throughout again, and you'll see what I liked about it. So, A show, definitely awesome. But and like I said, the perfect wrestling show is the same thing as the perfect match. If you have to ask yourself if it's a perfect wrestling show, then it's not, and it's not. And since I had to ask myself here, then it's not. Well, I didn't have to ask myself. I just flat out knew it wasn't. So, but still, an A is still awesome though. Like, it's pretty hard to get an A+. Takeover, NXT Takeover, not that long ago, got it. So, there's that. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and share this video so people will watch it. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel for more content and click on the bell, so that way every time I upload a video, you guys will get the notifications for it. Make sure you guys do the same thing for my CM brothers and on the Talkinator channel. Definitely give I almost said IEW, Weymouth Youth Wrestling, a watch, because I meant to say WIW and I almost said IEW, which that's not even a wrestling company, but whatever. That's pretty much it, guys. I think I've just been talking for too long. So yeah, I'm gonna watch the podcast now. Not really watch, but more listen to it. But that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.